Hi everyone, it's Hector from Cochise County Voice. I'm back from Sierra Vista this morning where I had a chance to meet Nick Mansour. He is a Democratic candidate for Arizona Treasurer. I had a chance to talk with him after his little presentation in Sierra Vista, and he answered a few questions about what the Treasurer's job is and why he is running for office, and some of the things he intends to do if he does get that job. So check this out and also read my story on Cochise.com.
The only thing related to it on the ballot is this race. Pick Nick is the only person out here talking about this, okay? Once I'm elected, and with your help, I'm going to get elected. But Pick Nick is the way to start making this change. We then got to get the legislature and the governor to agree to make this change.
Nick, thank you very much for talking to me today. You're in Sierra Vista today. You are running for state treasurer of Arizona.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, and then also why you're running for treasurer.
Yeah, I grew up in Tucson. I went to South Point High School. I went on to Stanford undergrad and Stanford Business School, and I've been an entrepreneur for most of the last 30 years. Most recently with a school called Arizona College of Nursing. I'm married. I have four kids, and that's and why I'm running is. I love our state. We've got a great state. I want to make Arizona the best place to live, work, and to raise a family. And there's some things the Treasurer's Office can do to improve our state, especially around education and our economy. And that's why I'm doing this.
And so you don't have just elected official experience. So you've never run for office before. The treasurer there, it's sort of an unusual place to pick. Why not go to the legislature or some other office? So tell me why that choice.
Yeah, you're right. I am not a politician. I'm a problem solver. I've never run for public office before. I took a look at what this office can do, and in particular around education and funding for education. We have an $11 billion endowment fund in our state. We're not investing it well. It's costing us hundreds of millions of dollars. It's a tax-free way to fund our education. And so that for me was the hook. That I said, okay, this is something I can do, and it's a good fit for my background, and I want to make a difference.
Now, while the fund does exist, now you are not in charge of dispensing the funds, though. You have to work with the legislature or someone to do that. So tell me how that process works.
Yes, that's right. So the dispensing of the fund it is governed by the legislature, but the treasurer oversees the investment, and that's where I think I can have an impact. And even there, I will need to work with the legislature and the governor to make changes. But this is an incredibly powerful asset. We're lucky to have it as a state. We're not using it well, and we need to do that.
So we're out here in Cochise County. We're not the big dog. We're not Phoenix. We're not even Tucson. You're out here in Sierra Vista, which is kind of our biggest metro area. Now, some but there are ways that the treasurer helps local governments, and one of these is the local government investment pool. I know that several of our county, cities, and governments are involved. Tell me a little bit what you know about that and how that can be used to help municipalities out here.
First, let me say this. My grandfather came here in like 1909 or 1911, and he originally settled in the Clifton-Morenci area. He then moved to Superior, where my dad grew up. And the rural, the non-Phoenix, the non-Tucson parts of the state are very near and dear to my heart. I still have relatives who live in rural areas. So it's not all about Phoenix and Tucson in my book. Yes, the treasurer oversees what's called the local government investment pool. It's a way for the local governments to put some money in the treasurer's hands so that the local governments can earn more money that way. The treasurer can do some things that the local governments aren't able to do on their own. And what that ultimately means is more money for the local governments to pay for their services.
Nick, normally, there are no controversies in the treasurer's race.
Right.
Or you hope that there isn't, right? I think people that run for your office, or hopefully that run for your office, are looking to basically do the best job for the people of the state. But you are running against someone. And this is an elected office, which is, for me, unfortunately partisan. I would hope that some of these positions wouldn't be, but so you have an opponent. Tell me a little bit about the difference between you and this opponent, who has made some headlines. Really.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for asking. There's some very clear differences between the two of us.
Yeah.
First, just on the policy side, I am really one of my key things is I want to make sure we're using this education endowment fund very well and very wisely and very safely. He does not want to do that. He does not want to change what we're doing, which means we're going to continue to waste this resource. So his policies will actually ultimately lead to higher taxes. That's one change, one difference. A second is, I think you said it right. I think this office is best if it's non-partisan, and that's what I'm going to try to bring. He wants to use some non-financial criteria to gauge our investments. What that really is that's injecting partisan politics into how we manage our money that ultimately leads to more higher costs and higher taxes. But the last thing I'd say is I'm trusted by people around the state. I have over 100 business leaders who've endorsed me. I've had the Arizona Bankers Association endorse me. I have Democrats, Republicans, independents endorsing me, and he's not even trusted by his own party. So there are some big differences here.
So tell me a little bit of where can people go to get more information about your campaign, and what's next for you? Where are you headed off to, and in the next few weeks?
Yeah. So they can go to Mansour for Arizona.com. That's my last name, FOR, Arizona spelled out, .com to get information, and certainly they can contact us there if they have questions. And we're getting all over the state, so I'm headed up to Tucson later today. I get down here in southeastern Arizona quite a bit, but we are going all over the place. So your question about where I'm going to next really is a question for my coordinator, because where aren't we going to is probably the better question.
Fantastic.
I didn't answer that one.
That's right. All right.
Cut that a little bit.
You're not a politician. You don't need to edit your stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, thank you very much for stopping by again, Cochise County and VISTA. We want to inform people the best we can with what their options are going to be.
Yes.
State treasurer, I have to be frank.
Yeah,
you've
never thought about it.
You don't think about it too much. You have an idea that it's about money, and of course, any candidate we elect, we want them to be as responsible as possible. Of course, every candidate should be finding fraud, because that should be part of the job.
Yeah.
But there are some very unique and specific things which you brought up that can help, motivate change towards the right direction. Even if you don't have control over some of these situations, you can be very influential in the way that the state operates, and if it operates cleanly financially, then that's good. That's what you're elected to do. So best of luck with your race.
Thank you so much. I agree 100%. And really make sure your listeners or your readers know about the importance of this endowment fund. It's a way for us to fund education without raising any taxes.
Well, and you mentioned that because, interestingly enough, with the way that you work, small percentages can end up being a lot of dollars.
That's right.
At the very end at the year, and when it comes to funding, you're pulling a lot of money together, but making small incremental changes can actually be millions.
I think this is the biggest issue in this campaign that hardly anybody knows about. Our estimate is we've lost out on $3 billion in the last 12 years because we're not investing this the right way. And looking forward 10 years, we'll lose out on another $3 billion. And like you're saying, those small changes over time can have a big impact. And at the end of the day, we're talking about education for our kids and our grandkids. We want the best. And this is a way to fund it without raising taxes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, you have a good rest of your day.
You do too.